Hello everybody, this is Sean here. I would like to talk about my thoughts and first impressions of iOS 7 and some of my favorite features. This is iOS 7 running on the newest iPad. Apple decided to give iOS 7 a new fresh coat of paint. They got tired of being accused of the same old, same old. And while this is a nice new look, it definitely does pack the features as well. It's not just a coat of paint after all. It definitely has a different look. It's a nice modern look. All the icons are different. Each Apple app has its own icon now, all different. Definitely has a lot of cosmetical features to it. Just the way how snappy it is and how different it runs. It also has over almost 200 features, of course, that we can't get to today, but I will cover some of my most favorite stuff, just basically that I found out by messing around with it. And you'll notice the more and more you mess around with iOS 7, you will find some more features. Some features that you're not used to. The first thing, of course, is the way it looks. It's definitely got a different look to it. If we put the lock screen on, now when you turn it back on, you don't get the traditional lock screen. You get this. Okay, slide to unlock. You get your keypad. Okay, and then it actually zooms right in like that, like an animation. Now when you open apps, they zoom in, and then when you close them, they zoom out, almost like they're minimizing on a desktop. Okay, they also changed the camera app quite a bit. It does quite a lot now. It has quite a lot of features, kind of like Instagram. A lot of filters. It's definitely different. So they updated that. They updated a lot of the first-party Apple apps. And now also, you get those nice smooth animations. I noticed even with the folders look completely different. Look at this. When you open them, they animate in, and they kind of have like this little roundness to them. And they're smaller, but you can swipe through the folder. So they animate in, they animate out. Kind of, boom, it zooms right in at you. Makes a nice impression. Visually, the iOS 7 is actually kind of stunning. Even the wallpapers have changed, and they actually use something called a parallax with the, I'll show you here. It's hard to see it on YouTube on the video, but as you move your iPad or iOS device, like an iPhone, the wallpaper in the background moves along with the icons. So it almost gives it like that gyroscope kind of effect, like, you know, everything is moving in sync with each other, and it gives it like that 3D depth of field. It's definitely something cool. It's just visually kind of cool, and it gives it like that 3D depth, like the icons are actually offset of the wallpaper. That's called parallax, and there's different wallpapers in the settings that are updated for that to give you that effect. So just a little something neat, I thought. One of the big things also with iOS 7 is your control panel. By just basically swiping from the bottom up like you would from the top down for notifications, you do the bottom up and you get your nice control center here. It has a nice mess of features: airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. You can get quick access to your clock, your brightness, your camera. It's got a night mode. It's got your iTunes player. That's control center. It's nice. It's got like a transparent look. Very helpful. Of course, again, when you scroll from the top, you have your notifications, but this time it's completely different now. Now instead of one tab, you have three. You have today, which just tells you everything that's happening today. Gives you a little bit of a synopsis of the weather. Then you have all, that you could do all together, your regular standard notifications, and then you can do mist. Okay? And I like to keep it on today. This way you know what's going on today. You don't have to constantly keep going into your calendar. It's all laid out here now. Even tells you a little quick on the bottom for tomorrow. You have no events tomorrow. Okay? Actually, I do, but I never entered them in. So that's the new notifications, and then, of course, like I said, the new control panel, the control center. Now, what's also cool is multitasking. When you double tap, you don't have the icons on the bottom anymore. You still do, but now you have it almost like a desktop experience. You could swipe and view all the windows in real time, and then when you want to go to one, you just click on it, and again, it animates in. That nice effect. It's nice fast switching. They say, technically on paper, they say that it's it's a mind thing that makes you think iOS 7 runs faster and snappier. I don't know. It does seem that way compared to iOS 6. But then again, it could just be the way the operating system looks. Technically, if it's faster or not, I don't know. People claim it's not, but it seems that way. Of course, they're still working the kinks out. The iPhone version is running a little bit more stable than the iPad, but you know what? Overall, I haven't had that much problem. A couple other things to point out about iOS 7 that you should know about. It does do app updating in the background, kind of like Android. It has the app update and app refresh settings. Background app refresh, background app updating. You'll get a little notification that your apps are updating without asking you. That's kind of nice. However, you want to be careful, of course, if you're on a phone and you have a limited data plan. You gotta want to be careful. Make sure it only does it over cellular, only does it over Wi-Fi and not cellular. And they did, I believe they did. I was reading somewhere that they did change the megabytes cap for apps. It's believed I went from 50 megabytes to 100 megabytes over cellular. So just be careful because you can definitely eat your data up that way. So it does that. So yeah, if you take your time and just go through a lot of these in the settings menu, they did change quite a bit here, and it definitely does look a little bit different. I forgot to tell you also that you have the in the control center, you also have the do not disturb option too, so you don't have to go all the way to settings. So it's just pretty much faster, different ways to access things, in a faster way. So that's pretty much that. But I definitely like it. The other thing I like about this that came in the iOS 7 and also the new iTunes is iRadio. I have been using it. I absolutely love it. To be honest with you, I enjoy it more than Pandora. It seems to have more. You could do, unlimited stations. It's awesome. The stations are nice, clear. Haven't had any problem with it. I was messing around with it for a few hours yesterday, just adding stations and checking out and seeing it. And I'll tell you what, this is really a good rival for Pandora because I really enjoy iRadio. I think it's awesome. It's awesome listening to it even on my desktop with iTunes. I just found myself just kept adding more stations. That's how much I liked it. So that's iRadio. So you definitely want to check that out. I was actually tweeting about it the other night, how impressed I was with iRadio. So it's all, and I'm always listening to music when I'm working on, Photoshop or photography projects in my office. It's always great to have music playing. So here you go. So that's iRadio. And I'll tell you, I really like it. I'm really impressed with it. They did some changes to, like I said, some of the first-party Apple apps like Safari. They gave that a little bit of a new coat of paint. It's got some nice new features. They did some stuff to the Mail app. Again, they did some stuff to the Camera app. Everything has its own different icon now. Everything looks more, more basic really, and more sleek, and just a nicer, cleaner look. Is what I could find from iOS 7. And yeah, it definitely is a nice operating system. I will be playing around with it more. I will be adding, maybe to this video as I come across more things. Checking out things, seeing how things run. It seems to be a pretty decent, stable operating system at the moment. I'm sure they're going to be improving on it in the upcoming months and doing various patches and whatnot. And all that stuff that Apple does. And I like it so far. It seems to be very good. Again, check out iRadio. That's probably, if I could ask, somebody was asking what's one of your favorite features of iOS 7. I would say I think I like the multitasking, how you can switch like that. It's nice and seamless, and it's nice and snappy. And you can see your windows instead of just the icons. You can actually see what's open. That's really cool. I like the iRadio. I actually do like the new notifications panel. I think that's pretty cool. Another note is that they did improve Siri. Siri has been improved. You can ask it numerous things. Not only that, now you could actually ask Siri to modify settings like turn your Bluetooth on, turn your Wi-Fi on. what's the last text message that you wrote? I mean, they really improved Siri, and now you can actually change her voice from male and female. And one cool thing that I noticed about this version of Siri is that it can actually learn to pronounce names. So if you have a friend or somebody in your contacts or your messages and they have a very strange name and it's not pronounced the way usually a robot would pronounce it, or a computer program, Siri can actually try to map you saying it, and then it gives you options of how it picked it up, and you can pick the best pronunciation of what Siri said. So very, very cool.